everyone, it's Tia Torres, and thanks for joining me in another Doing the Time with Tia Torres. So today, I want to get more personal. And I know that on the last audio episode, I talked about doing some investigative stuff. I actually did do that, but it was through a live stream. And I believe I downloaded it and posted it as well, at least to the YouTube channel. But we're going to continue with that, with my little investigative work on the Lucasville prison in Ohio. But today I want to get personal, and actually it does have ties to Lucasville. I'm not going to talk about a lot of that right now, but we're going to talk about the the word rehabilitation and the way that prisons throw it around so easily. Some even putting it in their actual name, like the state of California. Back in the day, they were just called CDC. That's what I remember them as, California Department of Corrections. And then they added the R, California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. Now, I don't know exactly what goes on in the prisons in California anymore. But I'm going to use, for this purpose, the example of my ex-husband, who just got released from prison on October 9th, 2025. He was released from a prison in Ohio, and some of you know that. Those of you that follow my 25 to Wife podcast series know the story. And collectively, between the state of Florida and then into Ohio, he is done 39 years. And, you know, I guess I took it for granted because he's been here living with me now. It'll be a month in a couple of days. And I have him working for me. He's doing good. He helps me with the dogs. He's doing very good. But watching the struggles that he has with other things, it's kind of heartbreaking, actually. Mainly the technology, as you can imagine, is extremely different. And of course, we all take it for granted. We've been around it for years, right? But I've been trying to teach him. I got him a very simple cell phone, and I've been, teaching him things on it and warning him about certain things and don't do this and here's what you do for this. And I started him off with Facebook because it is fairly simple compared to like TikTok or Instagram. And it's going to make me sad to say this. I'm going to say this. It's going to make me sad to tell you this story. I gave him the warnings. Don't accept friend requests from anybody you don't personally know. Don't click on any links. Things like that. It's been a struggle because he has accepted requests from people that he doesn't know. And he said, but wait, it said they were my friend. And I'm like, no, friend is a term that Facebook uses. They're not your friends. So I'm having to delete things. But yesterday I'm going to get emotional on this one. He'll kill me if he knows I'm telling you the story. He got a request from some random person who said, hey, you've been picked to win this prize. All you got to do is click on this link. And I saw it because now I'm checking his phone to make sure that, he's clean on it. And I saw that he had this message. And I said, oh my God, tell me you did not respond to these people. And when I opened up the message, he had. And he was telling them his story. Oh, I just got out of prison. And I'm like, no. This is a scam. And I said, please tell me. I know you responded. Please tell me you did not click on the link. He said he didn't. I don't know. Maybe I scared him because at that point I was in a state of panic. So maybe he didn't tell me the truth. But the look on his face is what made me sad. You could tell he was embarrassed. You could tell he was confused. You could tell he was frustrated. And it made me think, what about those people that get out that have done a long time like him, that don't have anywhere to go? Like, I don't know how, and I'm not patting myself on the back by any means. But I don't know how they're going to I don't know how they're going to survive, because these places that say that they have rehabilitation, I'm going to go on a limb and say that the majority of them are liars. Okay? And I know it is a social battle. There are those that say, well, prisons are for punishment. And then there are those that say, yes, but for the people that are getting out, they've got to be able to function in the world or they're going to come right back. And then you have that hamster on the wheel. And it becomes, well, they're criminals, so they deserve to go back. And around we go. But now that I'm dealing with it in such an extreme example, which is, again, someone who did 39 years in prison, most of which, at least for the state of Ohio, which is 19 years he was there, most of which was in confinement, because he became a beast. He became an animal. And I watch him with the dogs. It is the sweetest thing you have ever seen. He's a big guy. My ex-husband's a big dude. Okay. He's very, is imposing a word? Big, got the Viking look, shaved head, the goatee, he's covered in tattoos. He's big. And then I'll hear him from a distance with the dogs. Hey, little babies. What are you doing this morning, little guys? I'm like, it's not been a month, and look how quickly he softened up. Look how quickly he became a human again. And I didn't teach him that. Being around these dogs did. And he starts making comments to me about, wow, learning from you and the things you're telling me about these dogs, it's so similar to like people being in prison. I said, oh yeah. And the example I gave him was yesterday. I had to take a Doberman out of my main kennel section and bring him into my house. And I kind of equate our dog kennels to like a mini prison. It's like a prison setting. You're in cages, but of course, it's not as hectic. It's calmer. The people are nicer to you that take care of you. But this Doberman had come to us as a stray dog, but we could tell he had a home. Like he came from a home. And once we put him in the kennel, he lost his mind. Spinning in circles, shitting everywhere, smearing his shit, just nonstop, flipping his food bowls, beating up his water bucket. Who does that sound like to you? An inmate who's losing his mind in his cell. And it got to the point where this dog became pretty much emaciated. He's just bones. So my daughter-in-law, who oversees the kennels, goes, I hate to do this to you. You have enough on your plate. The only chance this dog has is to go into a home. And we've been putting him up for adoption, but no bites so far. No pun intended. So he's now in my house. He's only been here 24 hours. But within the first 5 minutes, he was curled up in a ball and sleeping on my recliner. And I was explaining this to my ex-husband, this whole process. And he said, wow, so it's just like being an inmate in prison. I said, uh-huh. Now, the difference is the dogs normally, when they come to you, have not committed a crime. There's that. But prisons are filled with people who are going to get out someday. So if changing the way the environment is run, changing the way the staff treats you, and I'm talking about my dog kennels, showing some compassion, showing ways to learn things, and again, keeping the environment the best you can possibly keep it. Not only does it make it better for the dogs, but it makes it more enjoyable for my employees. So then, why can't prisons do this? Because they do it in other countries, and it works fabulously. And here I am sitting with a man who has spent the majority of his life in prison, who has a violent record in prison, fighting, harming people, breaking things. And within less than 30 days, my dogs have transformed him into a puppy. And I don't mean that as an insult if he ever hears this. Like the kindest, sweetest guy ever. And I know there's going to be someone that says, oh, it's only been a month. I'm telling you now, I'll take it. Because I'm not going to take any credit, except for my teachings of technology. My dogs, the environment where we live, the way my friends and my family are treating my ex-husband have done more in 30 days in a good way than any prison's rehabilitation or lack of has done in 39 years. Maybe I should open my own prison and do things my way. It's a thought, right? Just something to think about. Anyways, if you want to keep up, well, actually, you know what? 25 to Wife is more comical than informative, but I will, from time to time, talk about Tony's journey. And by the way, he does fit into my little investigative part of this podcast series. He has told me the horror of when he spent time in the Lucasville prison. And when he was telling me stories, a part of me said, you're exaggerating. Until I saw pictures, screen grabs of video of the exact same thing happening to another inmate. Like, exactly. Which I will get into soon. All right? Well, I don't know. I know you all have heard this, but things have got to change in our prison system here in America. And I know they treat it as a business. It's all a money grab to them, but how do I start my own prison? I don't know. Just a question. All right, y'all. I'll catch you on the next one.